Okay, in 2c, we're still solving by factoring, and again, this is one of those examples where it's a quadratic style equation. This 2 is half of 4, so we want to rewrite this as 4. We're making the substitution as u is an x squared, which means u squared is equal to x to the 4th. So we have 4u squared minus 5u minus 6 equals 0. Now we could try to factor this, and we can use the quadratic formula, either one. I'm pretty sure that this one's going to factor, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 4 times a negative 6, which is a negative 24, and then I'm going to start problem solving. Are there any factors of 24 that can give me a negative 5? And I like the combination of a negative 8 and a positive 3. If I were to multiply them together, I get negative 24, and if I add them, I get a negative 5. So I'm going to use the factoring technique to solve this quadratic style equation. So it's going to be 4u squared. Now all that thinking I did over to the right side here is how I'm going to break this up. So I want it to be minus 8u plus 3u minus 6. And I made a conscious decision to put the negative one first and the positive one second. So when I group, I don't have to worry about that sign in the middle being negative. I already have a positive, so. And that's equal to 0. Now we find something that factors out of the first grouping, which is going to be a 4u, which would be a u minus 2. I hope that I can get another u minus 2 on the other side, so plus, factor out of 3, I got a u minus 2, so it's going as planned. I factor out the u minus 2 out of each of these terms, so it's 4u plus 3 equals 0. Now we'll use our zero factor theorem idea that if we got two numbers multiplied together and their answer is 0, then one of those two numbers has to be 0. So I'm going to set this factor of u minus 2 equal to 0. My only other option is if 4u plus 3 was equal to 0, to have my full product, this product between these two numbers, to be 0, which means u would have to equal a 2, or it would mean that 4u would have to equal a negative 3, or u would have to equal a negative 3/4. Okay, but remember, you got to come back and substitute in what u stood for. So u was a replacement for x squared. So really it's an x squared equals a 2. I think I'll just finish that one here, which means x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 2. On the other one, we want to replace u with x squared, and that's equal to a negative 3/4. So we want to take and square root both sides, so it's plus or minus. It's going to be the square root of a negative 3 over the square root of 4, and then we can simplify those. So x is equal to plus or minus the square root of a negative 3 is just the square root of 3i, and the square root of 4 is 2. So there's 2 solutions, and there's another 2 solutions, a total of 4, just as our fundamental theorem of algebra says we need for 2c.